Every morning when you open your eyes, a war begins. It is not a war of swords and shields, but a silent, high-stakes battle for your very soul that triggers the moment you reach for your phone or hear the first notification of the day. One voice inside you says, "Get up and conquer," while the other whispers for 5 more minutes of sleep. And in that tiny, seemingly insignificant moment, the blueprint of your success or failure for the next 12 hours is already being written. You might think you are failing in your career, your studies, or your home life because you are weak or unlucky, but the truth is far more clinical. You are failing because you cannot see the invisible psychological pattern that is pulling you toward destruction. To understand how to win this war, we have to look at the psychology of the most multi-dimensional figure in history, a man who was simultaneously a ruthless warrior, a playful lover, a kingmaker, and a silent monk, Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna did not preach a life of escaping to the mountains to find peace. He preached that the battlefield of life is the only place where true divinity is found. If you are a corporate professional drowning in spreadsheets, a student overwhelmed by exams, or a parent trying to keep a household from collapsing, you are currently standing on your own personal Kurukshetra. The anxiety you feel is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is the same trembling that the great warrior Arjuna felt when he looked at his enemies and realized that the hardest battle he would ever fight was the one against his own mind. Krishna reveals that human downfall is not a sudden accident, but a structured 8-step descent that begins with a single, harmless-looking spark. It starts with the first step, simply dwelling on an object or a thought, like checking social media for just 1 minute, or entertaining one negative thought about a colleague. By the second step, that thought has moved into your mental guest room and made itself a home, creating an attachment. In the third step, that attachment turns into a burning desire, a must-have that makes your happiness a slave to an external result. When that desire is inevitably blocked or delayed, you hit the fourth step, anger, where your vision begins to blur and you lose your grip on reality. This is where the spiral accelerates into total collapse. By the fifth step, your anger leads to a complete loss of perspective, making you do or say things that ruin your relationships and your reputation. The sixth step is the loss of memory, where you forget your values, your training, and who you actually are. At the seventh step, your intelligence is ruined, and you become nothing more than a puppet of your impulses. Finally, the eighth step is the total destruction of your peace, your career, and your life's purpose. Your failure didn't happen at step 8. It was decided the moment you let that first thought through the door at step 1. To stop this descent, you must adopt the Gatekeeper protocol. Imagine your mind is a grand palace and you are the guard standing at the front gate. Every time a thought of distraction, anger, or procrastination arrives, you must stop it and demand an ID card. Ask that thought, "Who are you? Where do you want to take me? And will letting you in lead to my growth or my ruin?" This is the practice of Sakshi, or the witness. You are not your thoughts, you are the one observing them, and the moment you stop fighting the thought and simply watch it, you break the power it has over you. Freedom is not the absence of thoughts. Freedom is the ability to watch the war of your mind without getting swept away by the tide. We've been taught that spirituality means avoiding conflict, but Krishna teaches a counterintuitive truth. Conflict is the primary driver of human evolution. Look at history. The greatest scientific breakthroughs, the very roads we drive on, and the technology we use were often birthed by the intense challenge of war. When you are under pressure in your office or your home, your internal powers are forced to wake up and become active. In moments of peace, we tend to drift into laziness, but in the heat of the battle, we become extraordinary. A society or an individual that fears conflict eventually loses the ability to truly live. Do not pray for a life without storms. Pray to be the kind of warrior who can dance in the middle of the rain. This leads us to the concept of Leela, or divine play. Most people are failing because they're too serious. They carry the weight of their failures like a heavy mountain on their shoulders. Krishna shows us that you can be a ruthless vanquisher of your foes in the boardroom while remaining a graceful dancer in your private soul. This is the multi-dimensional blueprint, being fully engaged in the world without being attached to the result. Life is not a problem to be solved. It is a game to be played. When you realize that every success and every failure is just a temporary scene in a much larger play, a smile begins to form on your face that no boss, no exam, and no crisis can ever wipe away. You must understand that what returns to you in life is not what you do, but the intent and the consciousness behind what you do. If you work with greed and fear, even $1 million profit will leave you feeling empty and anxious. But if you perform your duty with the heart of a witness, even a small task becomes a form of meditation. For the corporate professional, your spreadsheet is your meditation. For the student, your study is your sacrifice. For the parent, your care is your dance. Do not run away from your life to find God. Find the divine in the very thing you are doing right now. The blue ocean of success lies in becoming a productive warrior. You do not need to choose between being a peaceful person and being a successful person. Krishna was both at the same time. You can be ambitious and still be silent inside. You can fight for what is right and still hold love in your heart for the world. The moment you stop resisting the darker energies of your anger or your ambition and instead learn to transform them into fuel for your purpose, you become unstoppable. Suppression is a prison. Transformation is freedom.
The final payoff is the realization that you are already complete. The struggle you feel is just the ego trying to win or lose, but the witness within you has already won because it is eternal. When you stop living for the future and start being present in the now, the war ends because there is no longer anyone left to fight. Your duty is to wake up the sleeping Arjuna inside you and listen to the voice of the Krishna that has been guiding you all along. Stand up, master the gate of your mind, and turn your life into a masterpiece of divine play. The war has already started. It is time for you to finally win it.
If this spoke to you, pause for a moment and ask yourself, what is one lesson you truly want to live by right now? Share it in the comments. I'd like to hear it. And if you want to go deeper into the lessons of Rama and Krishna, watch the next video on the right.